Bates Motel Season 3 premiere, A Death in the Family. This is definitely a good episode to start the season off because it was like an interesting mellow point for the entire town. We had pretty much all of the drugs are gone now. Like the DEA comes in, not the DIA, but the DEA comes in and they basically burn all the crops. Everyone who has been working in basically the weed industry within the city for what we find out has been over 40 years, which we knew it was really important, especially in the last season. We knew it was sort of a lineage type thing. Like there were giant wars over weed and stuff within the city and stuff like that. So we knew it was incredibly crucial to the economy in general of this, little small town. And finding out that it's been destroyed, we have people coming up to like the chief of police and they're like, I wish you weren't a cop because I beat you up and you screwed up. You had the DEA come in and now we're out of jobs. We're illegal workers. Selling people weed and stuff, and we're out of jobs. Big deal. But it was really cool. It was fun to watch these characters in this sort of in between time, and like Dylan is trying to kind of go straight now. He's had his fill of working in the weed industry with taking orders as well as giving orders, watching people get killed off left and right, dealing with crazy people coming in and stuff like that. So it was cool to see him take this new step where he wants to do the same thing. It's what he knows, but he at least wants to take the legal route to do it. And of course, when he has the interaction with the chief in this episode, it's like it's legal and it shouldn't be an issue, but doesn't mean it won't be. And I don't know if that means the chief or sheriff. I can't remember which one he is, but like I don't know if that means like he's gonna do something to attack Dylan, or if he knows that other people are gonna be attacking Dylan. I can see you opening the door.
Hi and bye.
That was my girlfriend. But it was interesting to see him kind of deal with this weird moment, and I don't know, like I said, if the chief is gonna do something, or if we're gonna have other people like who, if they come up to the chief of police, odds are they're gonna go up to Dylan, who I think at this point a lot of people know. Maybe not everyone knows him, but enough people I have to assume know his name, or maybe at least what he looks like or something. So him kind of going the straight and narrow, and he's trying to do the right thing. It might not necessarily work out. Like, who knows what issues he's going to be having or anything like that, and what other people are going to be coming in, or what other random drugs. I doubt they do like other like super hardcore drugs. Like I doubt cocaine's just going to come in and everyone's going to buy cocaine or something silly like that. But we don't really know what's going to happen with the industry. It could be done completely, and we just have to see like the aftermath of the city, because right now it's kind of just like, oh, things just went bad. But with this being something that's been a giant part of the city for over 40 years, who knows what could happen. It could actually destroy the economy. Like, we don't ever see any of the characters that Norman or Norma run into really talk about it. But if the chief of police is saying like this has been a big part of the city for a long time and it matters, and they've had giant gang wars over it, it's going to have some effect on the economy that we're going to see hopefully over the season. I'd love to see that take place where it's like we lost drugs and that literally destroyed our city. I think that would just be interesting for this type of show. I think it would definitely be interesting. But that was really cool getting to see the stuff with Norman and Norma. God, in this first episode, they really, it's Norman Bates, so we know that he has very serious issues and connection stuff happening with his mother, and it's just really weird to watch sometimes. But I feel like in this one, they really pushed it for this first episode, and I'm fine with that. Some people it might weird out. For me, it just makes sense. That's the point of the show. Like, that's one of the big things, and it just, like, them sleeping in the bed together and things like that. And I love the fact that they have Dylan in the show to kind of be like the outside person to say like, that's not really normal. You shouldn't let Norman like sleep in your bed. He's 18 years old and stuff like that. And I thought that was cool, and it was actually interesting to see Norma take that advice, because it's Norma and Norman Bates. That's kind of the connection they have in the series. So I was really shocked that she took it so well, to be completely honest. She actually listened to his advice, and she was like, when she told Norman, I'm just your mother, I don't really know, as far as manly things, I don't know 100% what's good and what's bad for you. And I just thought that was actually a cool moment in the series in general, honestly. Like, she listened to Dylan. They've obviously had their issues and they kind of worked through that, which was cool to see in the last season. So they're all pretty good right now. And it was just nice to see her actually listen to his advice and say, like, hey, maybe Dylan was right. This isn't something that you should do. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And of course, it kind of switched like right at the end. But she had a great reason for that. But we obviously know that's just like the one thing to kind of take it all back by the end of the episode. And then, of course, we're going to see it kind of flip flop, I think, in the next couple of episodes as well. But that was really fun to see. Norman in this episode was very, very interesting because he had some really crazy moments. We had a moment in this episode where he saw Miss Watson, which was very, very similar to the season 2 finale where he saw his mother when he was doing the lie detector test. And she wasn't in the room, but it made him believe it. And he didn't kind of freak out at that moment, but he did when he saw Miss Watson. And so it wasn't one of the moments where he blacked out. It was just, he was hallucinating. He saw someone who was actually dead. And he's like seeing her bleeding and stuff, and he's, you know, freaking out in school. And I thought that was actually a cool moment. It was something that we, you know, like I said, we got the hint of that towards the end of the last season, or really at the end of the last season. And this was another one of those moments where instead of it being like his mother, where it's comforting or something, it's the woman that he killed, and he, you know, he remembers killing her like here and there like a little bit, but, you know, he's seeing her and stuff. So I actually enjoyed that. It was a nice little touch of insanity for his character, like another little step for his character, just kind of going insane. So I of course enjoyed that. We got to see him and Emma. We didn't really get to see them get close, but they did decide that they would start dating. And then of course he kind of made that really weird when he decided to take the hooker to wherever she needed to go at the end of the episode. And of course, initially I honestly thought that he would end up sleeping with her, like just the way they were doing it and like the look she was kind of giving him and stuff like that, it would just somehow work for him. That's what I was thinking. And then I figured he'd kill her after that. But, you know, he has, you know, this infatuation with her, and she's like the attractive woman coming in the short dresses and stuff like that. And, you know, he's taking her along, and it's just like, well, she's gone. And he ends up killing someone by the end of this episode. And, you know, whenever that happens, the first thing that comes to mind is like, well, how the heck is he going to get out of it? Because it's never like he ends up killing someone who's just like, oh, there's, you know, nameless guy number 2. It's like the person who stays at the hotel, of course. He's got fingerprints all up and down the car. She's missing. He drove the car back. Obviously, she's not going to just walk because it, you know, based on how they show the hotel, they're kind of in the middle of nowhere. It seems like they have to go at least a mile to get anywhere in both directions. So, you know, her car's there. She's just gone. And they could easily do it like, well, she does this and does that. Maybe someone kind of took her and kidnapped her, and I'm sure that's how he'll end up getting out of it. But, you know, fingerprints in the car and this and that, and just, it's going to be a big mystery. And who knows what's going to happen with them and the sheriff or chief, whatever. And, you know, kind of his relationship. Like, he's always had a separate relationship between sort of his conversations with Dylan and the stuff that he deals with Norma and Norman. So, you know, I'm actually excited to see how that plays out and how that's changed, because it's been a couple months since the last season, and things just continually get crazy for all of those characters. So I'm very excited. Like, of course, I'm behind, so I have to check out the second episode before the third episode ends up coming on. But I think this was a great first episode for season 3. I'm glad the show's finally back on, because it always feels like forever with this show, and I'm glad to see it's even reached season 3, and hopefully, you know, it'll get a season 4 as well. But I thought it was a great start for this season. Of course, things seem normal, and then he just, boom, he did like the one trigger thing that we needed, and he did it by the end of the first episode. So all the mysteries and the questions, with the DEA being in town, I don't know if that's going to really play a role this season, or if it was just like, you know, it's just the DEA is here to kind of take out all the weed. So that could have just been like the opening scene or something. But if that does end up playing a role, they're going to have a lot more to deal with than just the police. It's going to be the DEA searching for drugs and doing this and doing that. And they have a bit more power than just local city cops. So if it does play a role, I'm excited to see that. But if it doesn't, it's going to be Bates Motel, and it's going to be insane. And I think it's going to be a great season. So, you know, of course, I love this episode. I want to know what you guys thought. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And, you know, of course, with him having killed his woman off in the first episode, how the heck do you guys think he's going to get out of it? Because, like I said, fingerprints, I mean, there's always been fingerprints and even other stuff in some of the other crimes. So he's escaped some of those situations. He'll get out of this, of course. But how do you guys think he's going to do it? Because honestly, at this point, I just don't know what's going to happen with these characters. But I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.